You
Yes.
knew him as a very
Yes,
high-ranking military
Yes.
official in the Marcos government.
Yes.
What did you know of him at that time?
Well,
Uh,
we heard a lot about him, that he was a good leader from other militaries that we met.
He was the exception in the military at the time.
Why so?
Why? Because we felt that he had a professional. I think he had the professional trait that I don't know. There was something in him at the time. Okay, that we felt that. In fact, when EDSA happened, okay, nobody believed what was happening.
In other words, let's put it this way. May I interrupt?
Go ahead.
When we were meeting and planning what other
What
steps,
other steps?
we'll take to prove that Cory won
Yeah.
the election, we heard that
Enrile.
there was
Something going on.
in Relay in this group.
Yeah.
But then we were thinking, shall we join? Wow, we were happy, but then
We were
hesitant.
hesitant.
Why?
But when Ramos joined, we said, let's go. This
Oh.
guy is credible.
And we were
Incredible.
among the first 500 there in Camp Crame.
Yes.
Oh.
And
Before
when-
even the Cardinal called for the people, we were there.
When Ramos
Yeah.
even came out to
Yeah, he came out with his tobacco,
with his
relaxed.
blue
and-
T-shirt.
Did that come as a surprise that one of the chief implementers of martial
Yes,
law
yes.
Yeah.
would break away and withdraw his support from?
Well, let's put it this way. Remember, there was in martial law also there was what you call this? In Relay was
A fake ambush,
fake campus. So that's why we had a little doubt. Maybe there's something that is, so we were not so until Ramos
No,
joined.
I just wanted to say, if I may interact, not everything in martial law was bad, in my opinion. There were people who believed in what martial law could do to improve and reform society, right? It's just that, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and I think Ramos, contrary to what some people will say, I think he was the reformer in the military at the time, and so I think when he got involved in EDSA, that established the credibility for the people to come out. Even before Cardinal called out, we were there. I think the
So
first
influential influential
he's
yung
coming out.
him, yeah. no?
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely. And
And then-
then after that, Butch also called for people. No?
That's why the success of EDSA, he always said, is a combination of the three: the religious, the military, and the civilian. And it just sort of gelled, towards the same cause.
And it
So-
was not only people but prayer power. This is what was lacking with in other countries that did not succeed because there was no prayer power. Here, people and prayer.
Were there interactions? Did you get to come up close and
Oh,
speak
yes,
with
in
the-
EDSA.
So I
At
guess that
EDSA.
was the first,
Yes.
Yes.
That was the first.
Yes.
I believe that was the first thing,
Yes.
when we started to look up at him, when there was so much at risk at the time, and there were like just 400 people that evening
Oh, crucial.
on EDSA, okay, and I thought General Ver, that was the time to act, that was the moment, no? And he came out and he encouraged the people, came out with his Lacoste shirt, jeans, chewing his tobacco, and he said, "This is the birth of people power." He was the one who coined that,
Coined the people
the word people
Yeah.
power, okay, and then Boots came together with Chino Roses a few hours after,
Yeah.
and then the Cardinal the next day called for people to come. That's it.
So what was it like speaking with General Ramos at that time? Were you able to meet him?
Not yet.
No.
Not
It
yet.
was just really
It's just from a distance,
from a distance.
from an admirable distance, And you started to get to know, yeah.
So let's get there. No? People power became very successful, and you say it was a crucial point when I guess FVR came into the picture.
Yes.
Cory appointed him
Yes.
chief of staff.
Yes, a chief of staff.
He became chief of
He
staff.
ma- yeah,
Eventually
he made
became
it, yeah.
eventually became secretary of national defense. Oh, there were coup
But
attempts.
yes,
Yes.
that is when the admiration and the relationship
Grew
started
stronger.
to grow between
Yeah.
us
Okay.
and him, because then we could see how he was standing up
For
consistently for freedom and democracy,
Freedom and-
constitutional democracy,
Mm.
right? And so, and then he was very much involved in the peace process. You
Yeah.
know, reaching out, with with the left and with the right and with the Muslims, you know. So he was very supportive. With Dimas Pundata was the very first among the three factions during Cory's time, but fully
We
supported
succeeded.
by Ramos,
Yeah,
President Ramos.
Yeah.
And we got the.
You kind of helped out with that, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
What was the
So much work.
It was 3 years in the making. 3 years.
I was interviewed
Come again?
from
Oh yeah, the press. Well, before that, no. When we were working for Dimas to reconcile with the government.
we were a mediator.
Yes, yes.
We were
right,
the
you were
This,
the-
this is the government, and it's very good to be a to have mediators, because we can hear what the military says, and what when they were demanding for 5 demands, the military said it's impossible. But we never tell them what the military said, so that as long as we can get finally the blend that will succeed.
Where was FVR in all of this? He
He
asked you to.
Oh, very active.
He was at first the chief of staff,
Uh-huh.
and then he couldn't get much involved because
Yeah, he thought-
the military, he
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want to be over the civilian. And then when he became defense secretary, that's when he said, "Chris, I'm now a civilian, so now I can fully support you."
Okay.
But this is a nice thing that
Yeah.
before, when I was chief of staff, when he refused and told me, "Chris, I cannot help," but he still did in a way.
He's got
what
his-
he did. He had the peace.
He called for the meeting with the Peace Commission.
And myself was there also, and Dimas. Then he just made us talk, and then he just added, "Oh, Dimas, I know him. He's a very good guy." It's also as if he endorsed it, So he still did find a way to help. Well, even though when he was chief of staff.
3 years in the making.
In
3 years.
Ermita was a great help, yeah. Secretary.
Yeah.
Anyway,
General Ermita as well.
Yeah.
also,
Was it?
yes,
Oh,
yes,
oh,
yes.
oh. Yeah, but it all eventually came into fruition when he was already S&D, Secretary
Yes,
of
exactly.
Yeah,
Secretary
and
of
this is
Nation.
very important also, Ramon. Remember,
But
the city-
before he became S&D, I think there were serious coup attempts,
Yes.
right, with
Yeah,
Cory.
one or two.
And
There was one.
Go
again.
ahead.
There was one very, very dangerous that we were touched that we brought food for them. We were going to go to Camp Rame. We even saw
Camp Aguinaldo.
Camp Aguinaldo, the
He was at the command
at
center.
the command center, and when we came in, boy, it was like a war.
Like a real war zone.
Yeah, and then he told the guard, let them in. So he trusted us. We went to the commander center and gave them sandwiches. We could have, talked, but he completely trusted us. He showed all his trust.
You guys were part of the volunteer civilian
That's
groups,
right.
were the food
Supporting-
brigade.
Yes, that's right. That's
Oh.
right.
Oh.
And I remember who the other woman that was with us, this Miss Caltex.
That was your time, so I don't know.
So anyway, I mentioned that because when we were passing, Chris,
Payumo. Elsa Payumo.
Elsa.
Yeah.
And there is some people, soldiers lying down, and then they said, "Why don't we already give them some sandwich? Those are the rebels," I said. So anyway.
So it was really the
So
friendship,
that relationship
I guess,
developed,
the
yeah.
relationship.
Actually, it was a relationship between Ramos, then General Ramos, and Ermita and us. We were working like a team to get things done for peace, with Dimas Pundata, and we succeeded. There were some events that some cabinet members in Cory's time were trying to subvert that particular move that FVR wanted to happen, and we were able to overcome that.
And that was the first
Yeah,
peace
agreement
agreement.
with
Yes.
the MNF reformist
Yeah,
group was with
with
Dimas.
one of the
Yeah.
quite a
That's
number of several FREC groups,
That's because of FVR's support as
Support
well.
as well.
So,
But he liked working through, through mediators,
Oh, yeah.
Bring,
Oh, yes.
bring.
It's very important.
very effective.
I always say,
You know, when he became president, that's why we campaigned for him, okay? And against, Cory's best friends were for
Fernan.
Fernan. And the political family was for Mitra, but we were pushing for FVR. And,
You know what? I used to. It's good that at that time I was already close to Cory. That I had
direct
said,
access.
well, see, if Chris writes to you, give me straight to me, because many of my letters I was writing.
We're not reaching her.
Anyway,
So-
and that's when I used to write why Ramos. I even placed it in the newspaper. Why we think it is Ramos that she should endorse.
But at that time, did you ever imagine, early on that he could be president? I mean, when he was chief of staff, when he was Secretary of National Defense.
I think we already felt
We
it.
already felt that he should be
That
the
early?
president.
Yes. Because
that
he was
is
a
one of the reasons I gave Cory there. He was
He's a
faithful,
genuine EDSA hero.
EDSA hero, and very faithful to you, to your presidency. That he defended you. He was a very dangerous coup d'état, without any. When Cory was in the States, there were all the generals already really contacted. They were going to take over. That was God Save the Queen.
God save the Queen.
And what happened? Ramos, he was under in relay, but he called the same and then said, no, this is the constitutional, we should defend it.
So he was a constitutionalist.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Not an adventurist. On the other
Yeah, yes.
And we felt maybe in the last 3 years of Cory that he was the right man to succeed.
Yeah.
But he was very evasive, actually.
Yes.
If you recall, I mean, he was cool about it, and he'd pretend that he wasn't listening. But were you reading different signs? Were you looking? Were you seeing indications that he's studying it?
Yes.
How so? How?
Well,
Can you recall one of those incidents when you think he was a?
No, may I take that back?
Go ahead.
I felt my own that his performance, he was a good leader, hardworking, and also humble, appreciative, all of those. So I said,
Faithful to the principles of EDSA.
Of EDSA.
The promise of EDSA, which is to bring reform, strengthen the democratic institutions. FVR was the man to do it, not another politician, and not a chief justice. The expertise is not in management or executive function, but legal functions. FVR was the man.
Did you have to do a signature campaign also to convince him, like Cory, to run?
He was working in the background with Cory. Not many people know. He doesn't like to spread this around, but he was one of let's say one of those who convinced Cory to endorse Ramos.
3 letters, and one I published it in the newspaper. Why Ramos? And I did that.
And a couple of days before, remember Cory was going to announce
On her birthday.
who she was going to anoint on her birthday.
And she keeps it a secret.
She's kept it close to her breast, right? 3 or 4 days before, he receives a call from the palace. Okay, and he says, I think it was Margie Wico who called.
Yes, I think.
Said, Chris, I think the president wants you to be the lector in her birthday mass.
So
When she said that,
I knew
we
it's
were celebrating.
Ramos.
It's FVR.
But I didn't tell anybody because I'm sure she wanted to keep it a secret.
That was that was your that was
That-
the indication.
That was the cue
Yeah.
that she
Oh,
wanted.
cue.
She was going to announce that it was
And
FVR.
you know,
And if you see the picture, when she's actually on the podium announcing it, I mean, she put us with the cabinet members
In front,
here.
yeah.
The two of us. There's
Yeah.
a picture of that historic moment, so you could see our face smiling. Smiling.
Well,
Yeah.
some of the key movers behind
Yeah.
convincing Mrs. Aquino to
Yeah.
support.
It was a very.
But you know what I love about FVR?
Yes.
He is down to earth. He
Can
kept
I-
the cordon sanitaire, usually happens in the office of the president, at bay. He was very approachable. I mean, all he had to do, for instance, when he requested for an appointment in the June Losada, the appointment secretary, said, he's pretty booked, no, blah, blah, blah. We would go to an event where he would be and just stand in the corner, and the president would see him.
Okay.
He would go to him and say, Chris,
Then I would
how
say,
are you?
Mr. President, I wanted to make an appointment. Oh, talk to my appointment. I talked to you, sir. Oh, he gets
He gets his paper, no?
Okay. Okay, you can see me. I'll tell that's it before you give you an appointment.
He's an action man, and
And he talked to us for an hour as president.
I mean,
the two of us.
he
you know.
made you feel good.
Yes.
You know, that he doesn't forget the people that were his friends and supported him. Even if, anyway, I'll give you an example. One time, after the inaugural, in June, sometime in August, the Ninoy death anniversary, at Santo Domingo Church. From June till August, he made himself scarce. He didn't go to the palace and
Look for
position and that.
No,
Just
you
things-
kept away.
Kept away. Yeah, I did my part. That's it. So here comes the president, about 30 minutes before Cory comes. He arrives earlier, not to steal the show from Cory.
And waves.
He waves at the people, and he sees him.
No, first he sits in the front row and then he waved again. He saw me at the
Seventh
seventh pew. You know what he did? He went.
Stood up.
Stood
He
up.
left and went to the seventh pew to greet me. Look at
He
that
embraced him
wonderful-
and he said, "Where have you been? Come with
Come,
me."
join me in the front.
And he froze.
I froze because I said, he might be offering position. I don't want.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
then.
I had to
very
push him.
nice.
To Chris, he's the president now. You better follow.
Yeah.
So he put him in the front pew.
Yeah, we talked. No.
And
He's-
made you feel
he's-
good.
he
know.
showed so many of those
Yeah.
occasions that way. He was really something.
You guys worked during his. You were part of the volunteer corps in his campaign.
Yes,
The-
yes.
the-
Oh,
for the
yeah.
Yeah,
presidency.
we formed the Spirit of EDSA movement.
there you are. Oh.
And that's why our logo was 2 thumbs up. And,
Movement.
it was a movement.
Then
Then it
turned
evolved
from
into
the
a foundation
Yeah.
after he became president.
After he became
Yeah.
president.
So
How difficult was it? I mean,
Yeah.
you were convinced that he was the right man for
Yes,
the job.
yes,
You know?
yes.
But the problem there was you had to convince several million more Filipinos to vote
Yeah,
for him.
yeah.
But it wasn't exactly an easy road.
Yeah.
No.
Especially,
No.
with the Catholics. The church.
okay.
You know what we did? That one we prepared that he is the Moses Cory and would bring us to the promised land. We printed that with a picture of that thing and we threw it there it's a sign whenever we had it.
no, and if you remember, if you
challenge nga
recall,
pala yun, ano?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't Catholic.
I think the campaign of FVR was like, in a way, like EDSA, where
What do you
in
mean?
each groups of people believed the same cause. They were disunited. There was no single baton to organize the campaign, but different groups of people working towards the same cause. So it's people power working towards.
It wasn't no?
It wasn't really organized.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
wasn't a monolith.
No,
Yeah,
it
no.
wasn't.
It
No.
wasn't, ano. Yeah, you're right. Ano.
No.
It's
Yeah.
groups, small groups.
Because I remember we used to go to 8 room, I think it was 845 Pasay Road, I think, and you go there and it's really a mess, It was a mess. Forget it, I don't want to be part of this. Let's just do our own campaign for FVR, Made our own stickers, our own pins, buttons, I think.
And that was happening all over.
All over.
Yes, all over.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
people of similar.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
and we were part also of the campaign when FVR would go in the campaigning around.
Sorties.
Yeah, sorties. Yeah. We
I
would have-
remember also the sorties when he was endorsing the Venecia.
Oh wait. This is already
No, because
after.
that's also
Okay.
my relative.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get to that. But yeah, he won.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Plurality,
Yeah.
very small percentage, but he did, no?
Yes.
He
Great.
won,
Yeah.
and both of you deliberately kept away.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
Why?
I mean, like for example, when after the inaugural and he was declared president after the speech, you should see the people going around him. They even covered Cory, and Cory had to come out. And then I brought her to the car, where she left. Yeah. And you could see that people were already going there to find positions and so on. So I didn't
What
want
was
to.
the feeling like? I mean,
It was a great feeling.
I mean that the inaugural, the FVR inaugural.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Get
You,
it.
you want to say how did he feel in the inaugural? Well, he was
Oh,
part of
yes.
the civic military parade.
Mhm,
He was
The
one of the organizers, the
organizing
working
committee,
committee.
yeah.
You know, in the background.
Background.
It was a good, really good feeling. But
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, we got it almost, even though it was as some people said impossible, but it was because he was really designed to be the president.
Joshua.
But let me get back to
Yeah.
So you opted out of any official position in government during FDR's time, and you went back to business. But let me get your perspective now of the business community. I mean, where was the Philippine economy when FBR started?
Well, she explained it. Tiger or EDSA.
No, no. Where was it
before?
Before.
When he was starting.
We were
And then yeah, tell me how he brought it to
Oh, that's part
towards
of
the end of the 6
that's
year
part
period.
of, if I may say so. That was part of the leadership qualities that he showed in 1 year solved the power crisis. I remember we were going to work 5-hour brownouts. When we got to the office, another 4-hour brownouts there. Get back, oh, it was terrible. It was hell. He solved it in 1 year. Okay, I mean that takes political will.
The economy wasn't doing too
It was so bad. Yeah,
when he started.
when he started, and
Oh.
he turned it around. And
What
when he
were-
solved the power crisis, that established, the confidence in the business community that this guy can perform.
What were the expectations of
Of
Ramos when he came in by the business community?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think they were wait and see. Well, it's just like a cautious optimism. Let's see how he performs.
Yeah.
And when he performed the first year, then he started reaching out, made the peace with Miswari. He started making peace. So it was peace and development, which is the theme of his foundation now, right? So when they saw that, boy, then we started going up until the Asian crisis.
Some bitter pills had to be
Yes,
had to be
of course.
taken,
Yeah.
liberalization, decentralization.
Oh,
he had
oh.
to break out. He had to break all these cartels.
He demonopolized the telecoms industry.
Industry, which is very.
And because of that, we have, of course, now we still have Smart and Globe, but he demonopolized it, no? And that opened up the avenue for that.
competition. So that
In fact,
they
we
better
launched
service.
the first Philippine satellite. So
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
he
very
had a lot of good flagship projects,
But wasn't he all tagged into Philippines 2000?
Yes, yes.
I mean, was it important? How did that tagline or that roadmap of Philippines 2000 appeal to the business community?
It was good.
Good.
It was a good because you always put a good target. Sometimes you aim high and you hit right below it, But he had a vision and a mission, and at least we knew where we were going. He had a roadmap, because some presidents don't have a roadmap, right? They just
And
go along.
very special that he was hardworking. He would wake up early, do his notes for the
Oh, you knew about that?
Oh
too?
my God.
You know what? Look at this.
Share that with us.
Oh yeah.
Like, for example, just one example. Somebody stole the wires in the People Power Monument because it was installed in a place that they can, because lead. So
Electrical
I
wire.
had to rewire it, rewired. It would have going to take me 3 to 4 days. Would you believe the second day I get a note from Ramos and saying, President Ramos, Chris, why is there no light in the PPM? See, look at that.
He
Even
would be
that
aware of
is
everything.
Aware of everything.
He would
And
read papers.
Yes.
And when he came to the house with his presidential car, and then we said goodbyes, of course, when you opened the door, you should see the boxes of files inside his car.
Working, a working.
He was really a
president.
working
Yes.
president.
Literally a mobile
Literally.
office.
Look at his office, I mean,
Yeah.
it's, in a way, birds of the same feather flock together. If you come to his house, it's like this. It's a living museum.
And how did that? How did that work ethic make it all? I mean, you know, make it all. How did it impact on his presidency, on his governance?
Well, it kept everybody on their toes, right? I mean, he always expected complete staff work before he took action, and he was
Yeah.
always well informed.
Okay.
He never allowed the cordon sanitaire to take firm footing. You know, I mean, he was well aware of everything, and that's good. You know,
Tell me about complete staff work. Most everyone talks about that. Your own recall, your own vignettes of complete staff work.
complete staff work. Well,
FBR style.
before he takes action on everything, he gets to get as much information about anything and everything on that matter before he decides. You know,
And he listens.
and
That's
he
very
listens to
important.
people.
That's why
So-
in this new government, I wanted to make a committee outside
The
the
cabinet.
cabinet that if the president is a little, what you call it, doesn't know, to throw it to us and we can also give our opinion so that he can.
In a way, FVR was like that.
And that was vintage FBI.
Yeah,
actually,
that was
ano?
it. He would also listen.
Asks everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Yes.
Not just this cabinet, because you know how it is in the cabinet. As they say in Tagalog, you know, pataasan ng ihi, right? So, not with FVR, you know, I mean, you can't fool him, you know.
And he brought along even the opposition.
That's
And
right.
You have to be
Yeah,
part of this
yeah.
meeting.
That's right, that's right.
How did
So-
you appreciate that?
Huh?
That he brought in even
Yeah.
even his critics or even
The only thing
opposition.
is that there were some people from Subic who really worked for his post, and then they complained to me. Said, "Why is appointing somebody who was for against us?" No, he wanted. So I wrote to him one time. And I said, "Mr. President, it's very nice for you to bring to make
reach
pe-
out
to
to
reach
your
out to your
Enemies, but not
not
at
to
the expense of your
your
friends.
I
Your true
guess
friends.
True friends, no. In other words, so good position for this. The guys, they're even directors, so that they can check and balance with the
Oh yeah, he knew how to do that.
He knew
ano?
how to
Yeah,
do
he knew
that,
that.
yeah.
He knew that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kept his friends close, but
Yeah.
kept his critics
Yeah,
At bay.
at bay.
yeah.
I'll give you an
But
example.
but
Without
got
mention-
them involved as well.
Yes.
You know, you want to criticize it. Let's get to
Yeah,
work and how to.
okay, let's see how you do it,
Yeah.
right? There was one cabinet secretary, without mentioning his name, it was quite notorious,
Okay.
corruption, you know. And he did certain things that should not be proper, okay? So he reported to the president. And the president said, "Don't worry, Chris, I will handle that at the right time." So he knew, he was aware. And maybe a few months after, boom, he was out. You see? So he had good counterintelligence, I guess. You know,
But that was also the military man in him.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe the current and the all future presidents. He also believes that there should be a council of elders that they can tap knowledge and wisdom from based on experience.
But he
Yeah.
did that too, right? I mean, he
Yeah.
established a senior
Yeah.
advisors council. He would.
Which one, FVR?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem with FVR. I'm talking about succeeding presidents.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get to that portion you mentioned about Cha-Cha. But so let me ask you, did he have enough time to do everything that?
Can I answer that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, actually I felt that it would be nice for him to get another
To-
6 years, no? But then he had to.
But there were
the
constitutional limits.
constitutional
Restraints.
What are the interactions with? You do drop by, meet up with the FBR ever so often?
Yes.
Yeah. How?
Occasionally.
What are those meetings like?
Well, mostly in the planning of the EDSA anniversary.
Okay.
And then some other occasions, special occasions.
You look back at the campaign days.
Actually, he was the one who planned the welcoming party for FVR in Alabang. when he stepped down as president. I remember that. You know, and
Then Manglapus was still
he was still around.
alive, so I asked him, we will prepare a song for
FVR.
FVR. Very nice, very nice. So he was very good at that. So
Yeah, do you have a most memorable moment
with
with FBR?
FVR, yes.
What is it?
That's why I'm
For me, it was at
the same
EDSA.
passion as I see for EDSA, because really for me, I have a tape, beautiful tape that I gave. EDSA remembered all the presidents from France, from US, and all, they're giving credit to the people power of the Philippines.
So let me ask you, I mean, looking back at his 6 years in office at VR, what, to your view, is his greatest legacy as president? I'll ask you, and then I'll ask you as well. What is FVR's greatest legacy to your mind as president?
To this new president.
No. What was FVR's legacy in his 6 years of office? What to you was his legacy?
Most important achievement?
Unity. He unified the country. He reached out everywhere. You know, he was a unifying president, which everybody said, "Oh, Mitra will be the unifying president." No, Ramos proved it. You know, that to me, that's his
That's what
legacy.
they call trapo. The other politicians were trapo. Really.
Yeah.
But he's not. He was really thinking what was good for him.
And he also espoused love of country. You know, for the Philippines.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you.